मंच पर विराजमान श्री विजेंद्र गुप्ता जी, स्पीकर दिल्ली असेंबली, प्रिंसिपल who is a very dynamic leader, very efficient leader for this college, Shri Arunatri ji, my colleague Dr. Soumya, other colleagues from the college, Delhi University, and dear students. I feel very happy to be part of this gathering to deliberate on an important issue. But before I share my thoughts, I want to share, Gupta ji, honorable speaker, we made him think about his past days, his student days. But he also made me think about, a remark that he made. कि बोलने के लिए तो प्रोफेसर राम सिंह आए हैं और स्पीकर्स जब when I started to watch, to view parliamentary proceedings and once in a while proceedings of a state assembly, these proceedings are always chaired by a speaker. I thought, as a student, sir, I thought that the speaker should be speaking the most. But I realized that speakers was speaking the least. And therefore, I wondered why this person, this designation is called speaker. Later on, it became evident that whenever speaker spoke briefly, but with contents that delivered a very wide and lasting message. So, गागर में जो सागर भर सकें, शायद ऐसे लोगों को ही स्पीकर नियुक्त करते हैं हमारी संस्थाएं. ऐसा ही इन्होंने इसी का प्रदर्शन आपने अभी भी किया. 5-7 मिनट में ही इन्होंने बहुत सारी मुख्य बातें और हमारे लिए जो विचार योग्य हैं ऐसी बातें रखी. I greatly enjoyed listening to you. Gupta ji and Professor Atri has already laid a stage, and also the documentary that we witnessed in this hall about AI. I want to take about 15 minutes with your permission, and in 15 minutes I want to discuss economics of AI, how AI is affecting economics and economy, and also our society. So first of all, let us start with basic. I assume that most students here, so I will keep my primary audience to be students present in this hall. So we study microeconomics. We start learning economics by studying microeconomics. In microeconomics, soon after studying theory of consumer behavior, theory of production, we come to market failures. In economics, we talk about 4 primary forms of market failures: monopoly, public goods, externalities, and asymmetric information. These are leading forms of market failures, which justify presence of government in economic lives to correct these market failures. So one way of looking at AI is to study what is going to happen to these forms of market failures, and therefore these sources of justification for economic interventions by the government in economic spheres. Whichever way we look at, whether we look at the issue of monopoly or public goods or asymmetric information, AI is going to impact on all these dimensions. When we think of AI, so we have started to think of AI as a 5O technologies. So up to few years back, up to 1 year back, we used to talk about 4O, fourth generation technological revolution. The fourth generation technological revolution combined AI with big data analytics. Big data are, to simplify things, big data are the data generated by tech platforms like Facebook, like Google, Microsoft. We use them, their services all the time, and in the process we generate information. That information gets codified and it becomes data. Because of its volume, it becomes large data. And to process this data, so the standard econometric tools are not sufficient. We need to have large language models, original foundational models that are foundation for AI are being developed using this large data that you and I and almost every person on the earth is generating. Animals are also generating. Cars and fridges are generating. So combine big data and AI. They have unleashed unleashed platforms like Facebook, like Amazon. These platforms are big entities. They are replacing platforms like many markets, thousands of markets in our country, hundreds and thousands of markets world over are being replaced by a few platforms like Amazon. Okay. Therefore, at one level, this AI and big data analytics, they are changing structure of the market from many players to one player or few players from one side. So to that extent, there's an element of monopoly. It's a different kind of monopoly that strangely, this is AI, big data analytics, 5O technologies are generating players, economic players, that simultaneously act as monopolists because they are the one, or they make the market a monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly market. At the same time, they work as a public good. If you think of Facebook or Amazon, for them to service additional citizen, additional individual, it comes almost free of cost. A typical characteristic of a public good is non-rivalrous consumption. That is true of Facebook, of WhatsApp. If anything, opposite is true. As more and more people join Facebook, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp, it becomes their costs come down, and benefits you and I get, those benefits go up because of the network effects. It's because of this virtue that Aratai, I assume you have heard of Aratai, is an Indian version of WhatsApp. It is being designed, marketed, launched by Zoho Corporation. It's purely Indian in all its conceptualization, formulation. So Zoho Corporation has launched this app, which is expected. Their objective is to replace WhatsApp. But this app is facing the problem because of the dominance of WhatsApp. But once a critical threshold, if many people start using it, then more people will have incentive to join it. So the point is that the market structure is being changed by introducing elements of monopoly and public goods simultaneously. And therefore, our teaching of economics should also reflect these attributes of new technology when we study and when we teach economics. The other element is, other source of market failure is asymmetric information. Asymmetric information does not allow many Pareto improving exchanges, trades from happening. Because of asymmetric information, we have certified agencies that certify quality of second-hand cars and many other products. On that count, something significant is happening. In the past, it has been difficult. It has been difficult for employers to monitor their employees. It has been difficult for insurance companies to observe our behavior so that we respect terms of the contract. Because of AI-related technologies, now contract enforcement, the agreement, sanctity of agreement is going to be strengthened. Because of AIs, the asymmetric information is going to come down. I will give you some illustrations. And once degree of asymmetric information comes down, then market failure on this count is also going to come down. Let's take examples from real world. You and I hire Uber, Ola services. auto or cabs. Whenever you hire a service, you are given an opportunity to rate your experience with that driver. Your driver also gets opportunity to rate his or her experience with you. So what is happening in this process is that the behavioral attributes or efficiency attributes of both sides are being captured. Ideally, we would like to match good drivers with good riders and bad drivers with bad riders, so that we do not we spoil mood of we can minimize spoiling mood of people who would want to make it to their home, workplace, in colleges is fine. So it also, we want to encourage reward hard work, efficient work. We want to reduce rewards associated with bad performance. These ratings, they allow this matching, these processes to take place. If you have a good rating as a rider, then you are more likely to get a ride compared to if I have a bad rating and we are in the same neighborhood looking for auto or car, then you will get first preference if you have higher rating. Similarly, drivers will also get first preference if they have better ratings. In this process, through this process, what is happening is that more and more information. So next time you book a ride, when a driver is assigned to you, you would find driver's rating also, that you are assigned this vehicle, this driver with this rating. And you can experiment if you would like. If you have a good rating, you can start behaving badly. And very soon you will see that the drivers you will attract, there'll be longer delays in getting a ride, and also you will start to attract different kind of riders. But point is that my point is that by providing more information to both sides, these technologies are reducing informational asymmetries. A similar thing is happening vis-a-vis contract between you and your insurance companies. Today, insurance companies are interested in, if we have purchased medical insurance, they want to know our behavior, whether we are leading healthy lifestyle or not. We buy mandatory motor vehicle accident, first party as well as third party accidents. Again, the issue is insurance companies are interested in us driving responsibly. Very soon, insurance companies are going to launch devices. They are going to insist that if you buy accident insurance and if you install some devices in your cars, then you will get some concession, you will get some discount on premium you will pay. Idea is to be able to observe your driving behavior, to check whether you are a jerky driver, you violate traffic norms or not, and they will next year adjust your premium accordingly. Through these mechanisms, AI and big data technologies, they are also reducing informational asymmetry of types of behavior, and also they are going to incentivize more and more people to work better. In other words, the monitoring, the ability of corporations, of employers, of governments are going to monitor behavior of other side of the contract, be it employment contract, be it any other form of contract. Those abilities are going to go up. Outcome of this is going to be, there is going to be improved relationship between performance and rewards. So through these channels, the forms of market failures are going to reduce. But AI is simultaneously unleashing some forces that are going to increase severity of market failures. Monopoly is one example. I mentioned that there are now platforms, actors that are being introduced that behave like a monopolist or duopolist. That's the structure of market that is emerging. Other consequence of this improved matching is going to be that for less efficient workers, labor, their reduction in their wages is going to be very sharp. Some of them will go out of business. Going back to Uber example, if you consistently get rated as a bad rider, very soon they will put you out of their system. No more rights available to you. Similarly, bad drivers will be kicked out of their system. No more, you can't use Uber, Ola, Prof platforms to do your business. So exclusion from the market is a real situation we are looking at. Other is that once we improve linkage between performance and rewards, then its flip side is going to be that those less productive, less efficient, they will lose out. Their labor income is going to come down. So labor income is going to be, so far debate used to be, inequality debates used to be in terms of split of national income between labor income and capital income. Capital income is enjoyed only by a small fraction in society. Labor income is enjoyed by masses. Most 99.9% people, citizens, they get one or the other form of labor income. Now, labor income is also going to face pressure, inequality through these channels, through exclusion and better alignment. Positive side is going to be whoever will manage to keep work will become more productive, and therefore more remuneration on labor income is going to go up through that channel. But the exclusion channels are also going to become more active. Therefore, when we study AI and its implications, whether in classrooms or we go for econometric empirical analysis of AI interventions, its implications for productivity, for efficiency, we also have to be mindful of distribution of national income. Today morning, if you had a chance to read newspapers, you might have read stories that IT companies like Wipro, whichever IT company, Infosys, TCS, you look at, their stocks have not been performing well in last few days. Today, most newspapers have reported this phenomena. It is the AI at work there also. When IT companies make a big advancement to economy, rest of the economy was apprehensive of IT companies, that their apps, their applications, computer applications will render many people jobless. AI today has come to threaten existence of, that's what newspapers have reported, of ITs that were once perceived to be dinosaurs. In my view, stock markets have overreacted. It is not doomsday for IT companies in any which way, because AI will act in an economy, in a system through its applications. And applications of AI are going to be mediated by IT companies. Therefore, it's just that, in my view, there's a overreaction, unfounded reaction. In similar vein, many of us end up overreacting to AIs and its adverse implications. But its consequences are going to be substantial, severe, and realistic. This surely, one lesson that emerges is that we will have to prepare ourselves better. We will have to think of AIs to be a supplement that enhances our productivity. In other words, our skill, our educational attainment should be so that AI becomes a complementary skill, a complementary good. For us to reach that stage, be it at individual level or at a city level or national level, it will call, it calls upon, it warrants that we pay attention at individual level in improving our skill set, our knowledge, keep our knowledge multi-dimensional, interdisciplinary, and then so that we are able to use AI for our gains. Once more and more citizens gains, the ultimate gainer is going to be the society. So after all, competitiveness of any economy depends on competitiveness, productive abilities of individuals. The most difficult challenge to surmount is going to be level of motivations. Today we can learn as much as we want. There are no limits. AI enables that. But the level of motivation has become more important. When students come to class, there's some monitoring that happens. But today, the monitoring, the degree of learning outside of the class has gone up. And outside the class teaching, learning, their level of motivation, both in terms of how much we learn and what we learn, a lot is going to depend on motivation. And therefore, that's something that no AI can supply. So on that count, individual spirit level of motivation is going to be paramount. Thank you so much.